Oh man, not another one. Honestly, I know I'm a YouTuber, so this could be easy to get clickbait and views on, but I don't like seeing it. It's like, I don't know, the third, fourth I've seen this year, and I'm sure there's more. Skills funded traders or whatever it was, most recently. I mean, there was a lot of controversy around that because I think there was a lot of credible influencers, traders and whatnot that partnered with this firm and put their name to it, and that didn't work out, did it? But, Funded Engineer didn't have a bad rap, and it looks as though from their statement they really tried to improve their financial situation and they couldn't. And I could sit here and say, well, why is the barrier of entry for these prop firms so easy? But when you look at the stats for startups, 90% fail within their first year. So if you're choosing to go with prop firms that are maybe newer in the space, maybe the onus is on you to understand that risk. And I'm not saying that in a patronizing way, because they have great marketing teams and they have great promotions. And sometimes, it can be half the price of an FTMO. And I've done it myself, so I'm a hypocrite. And I have a live account with Aquafunded, who you probably haven't heard of, and FTMO, who you probably have heard of. So, it is easy to, I don't want to say get caught out. There's probably some new players coming in that are doing it and doing it really, really well. So no hate whatsoever. But it is risky when you're going for cheaper challenges and maybe they're white labeling the technology and the infrastructure's not quite there and the support's not quite there, and suddenly a few big payouts and they're scrambling and they're struggling to try and sell more and more just to pay their traders. And that is what you don't want, people, and this is what it results in. I trust you can read. So I'm not going to read you the whole statement. You can go on the website. But, it says, with a heavy heart and deep regret, and we tried all sorts to try and improve our financial situation, but we couldn't. So appreciate the honesty really there, and there's nothing you can do. But if you were waiting on a payout, I am sorry. I know how hard it is to pass these challenges. It's really not easy. And I know you can gamify and pass them quicker, but it's not easy still. And to get a payout is even harder. And if you were waiting on a particularly big payout, then I'm sorry, it's not nice, is it? So yeah, we'll just take a moment there to recognize that. And it's easy to say this and that and for me to sit here and preach, but actually, yeah, I know it is hard for you if you are in that position. So yeah, sorry about that. What can you do to protect yourself, and what does the future of prop firms look like? Well, particularly in the Forex space, I still think it's maybe too easy to pass these challenges. I do think they're too cheap from a lot of companies as well. The barrier to entry actually for traders is almost too easy, and if you can get an account and you actually are not a consistently profitable trader, I hate that term because you hear it so much, but if you're not, then you shouldn't really be able to pass, and you shouldn't really get this capital and be able to trade it and be able to gamble it and use the leverage to try and make 10x your salary or whatever. So yeah, it needs to be harder. I've seen a lot of new rules implemented within the future space. Consistency rules especially, I think, is actually a good thing. Max profit that you can make within a month, or X% of your largest trade when you look at the aggregate of trades overall over a certain period of time. There's things that prop firms can put into place which still means that it's really, really appealing for traders that are doing it professionally, but actually it maybe puts off gamblers. And, as a trader, I don't want gamblers in the space anyway. I think the industry has been tarnished quite enough over the last, decade or so with the rise of social media. But if you are a trader and you are consistent, I'd suggest paying the premium for something like an FTMO. I know Alpha Capital have been making waves as well, some controversy around who's heading up their marketing now with what happened with Skill and Funders Trader. I'm a fan. I'm just not going to get into that today off that individual, but yeah, I know they have their own technology and they're doing really, really well, and 5% has been about a long time as well. So they're the three you hear, and I hear plenty of other people on YouTube talking about those as well. So you can put your money into those prop firms knowing that it's a little bit safer, and you're probably not going to get the rug pulled from under your feet. So I'd suggest maybe looking at some of those if you haven't, FTMO being the biggest boy on the market. But also what you get, I know you do pay a premium for that, but you get premium support you get premium content when it comes to, you know, maybe top tips and tricks on how to trade the market. And you also get premium data and analytics. And unless you're paying for a third party, you know, like TradeZeller, or maybe you're using Darwin X, you know, using Notion only goes so far. And actually the data you can get back from FTMO is awesome in understanding, you know, what pairs to trade and when and where you're most profitable within your edge. And you can really start to refine your strategy and raise your A game. So that's another benefit of actually paying the premium. It can really help move your trading forward in the right direction. And then the last thing I want to say when I'm talking about the future of prop firms is don't rely on prop firms. They're not the be all and end all. I know a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on them because you can make a lot of money, but also start to think about personal capital if you're not doing that already. You don't need a lot, and it might not change your life, but you can use a simple compound interest calculator to know that if you're in it for the long game, it will be advantageous to build that personal capital. No one's going to take that away from you. Sorry about that. You can build a really good track record and you can start to attract third-party investment. You can also use the likes of Darwin X to do that as well. And then you can also have prop firms. So be safe out there. Choose wisely when choosing the prop firm that you want to go with. You know, this isn't the end of prop firms. I do see some changes coming in to build in more consistency rules. I'm not talking about regulation and things coming to wipe out prop firms. I don't see that happening. In fact, there's some things happening with some real big boys, some real big players in the market like Oanda who might be entering the space that are heavily regulated. So if they can do it, I'm confident that prop firms are here to stay and are going to be here a long time. There might be people laughing in the comments 5 years from now at that statement, but let's hope not. And yeah, best of luck with your trading. Stay disciplined, stay patient. You don't need to pass these challenges overnight and panic that there's going to be more and more closures. If you choose wisely and you research the companies that you want to go for, you know, the likelihood is you're going to be in good hands. And if you can be consistent and profitable, you're going to get that payouts. So stay safe out there. Choose wisely. Best of luck. Let me know in the comments who you're trading with. If you were with Funded Engineer, I'd be interested to hear from you and what your plans are next when it comes to prop firms. But thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. It helps me and helps the channel grow, and I'll be sure to put out more videos like this in the future. Ciao.